Okay, so we will start with recording and let Dominic flip that around. Boop. Okay, so this is the ScanPro 3000. They also do make a 2000 and a 1000. We opted for the 3000 because it has a better camera optical lens, so you can get more zoom on it. Kind of depends what you're trying to get at and what you're working with. From what we like it, I don't know what the limitation would be of a 2000. I haven't played with it enough, but and if they've made anything else since, I don't know. And then the computer setup that we have for it, we do have a taller monitor so that you could see a full page of a newspaper print all at once. I don't know, and the monitor does rotate. I don't know how necessary it is, but it was kind of a nice add-on feature that we were able to add to it. So right now the ScanPro is on. The first step, and then this is a roll of microfilm that we ordered this from the Wisconsin Historical Society. We'll be looking at the January 1966 of the Milwaukee Sentinel newspaper. We'll start by opening the e-image software because it has a guide to helping us set up. So the first thing that comes up is your choice. You can do a 16 millimeter roll, a 35 millimeter roll, aperture cards, different aspects of negative fiche sample, positive fiche sample. It'll just get you started. And then there's also some other tweaking. So there is room for a microfiche and microfilm in here. So we're going to click the 35 millimeter roll, and it wakes the ScanPro up. So it's thinking about it, taking the film out of the box. So then it comes up to this empty blank screen. For me, the hardest part of any of this project is getting the film onto the microfilm scanner without doing it backwards. So what is neat about this is if you take and you pull the tray all the way out and the microfiche glass pops up, then you get a diagram of how to insert the, how to actually insert the film into it. So it gives you a little guide and it tells you which way to rotate it. I always put the roll on backwards. So the roll should go so that the film is being loaded here, over top, and then it gets threaded underneath. And then, so underneath the glass, underneath the next guide bar, and then pinned up into the other end of the roll, and it will then load it from there, and it will end up rotating, and then you give it a couple of spins in the direction that it shows you. So then the film will be pinched between the upper glass and the lower glass as you slide it back in. And you're going to slide it in until you see something change up on the screen. And right now we're at the leader roll, so there's really nothing to see. And this is about the point where I can switch over and do a screen share. So you should be able to see what's happening on the screen. If I do this right, I'm just going to see if I can resize this a little bit before I do that. Okay. Oops, I don't want to share the merge. Sorry, I'm going to stop sharing that. I want to share the image data.
Okay.
Okay, are you seeing what I'm seeing?
Yep.
Okay, so right now you see a black screen, and down here at the bottom there is a guide that says fast forward. I'm going to fast forward the roll until I see something, and now I've got some things popping up. I have a slide control so that I can go very slowly, and I can control like just paging through, or I can speed up and go more quickly if I know that what I want is more towards the middle of the roll. Oh yeah, crossword puzzles. I want to do. So you see that the newspaper is on here horizontal, and so we want to rotate it. There is a menu over here on ours on the right hand side, and it has adjust options, so you can rotate the view. There is a film orientation and a 90-degree orientation. I never remember which way is which until I do it once or twice. So I usually just hit it, and if it isn't turning out right, then I rotate the other way. Then I use the rotate button. Oh, now I got it, but it's upside down. And it takes a few minutes for the lens to do the rotation. Oh, look, okay. Okay, so it takes a second for the rotation to pop in. It's a little hard to see probably for you on the screen, but there's a green dotted box, and that is right now outlining the entire page on here. That box is what the lens is going to take a picture of if we want to view anything. So, all right, I want to then align this a little bit. If you see, like, then if I pull on this, it will just move the page into view so that I've got one full page. I'm using the slow forward and backwards to make that adjustment. If I want to see the entire page, I can zoom in and out, or if this doesn't look good right away, for the adjustments of other options, there are some films might come wound backwards. There is a mirror option so that you can flip it and without having to rewind the roll. And then you can unflip the mirror. There's also film types. Sometimes you'll get negative films, and a negative film, like a photo negative, and all you have to do is click. If you do have a negative and you want to see it normally, then you would click the film type, and it would turn it into a regular black and white or colored display, whatever you have. If you need to do some other things like focus and auto straighten, if it's totally out of focus, there is an autofocus on it. All you have to do is hit the autofocus button, and the lens will start to adjust. It takes a little while, but the lens will do what it thinks is the best for getting a clear focus on it. And because the ScanPro has a really, really powerful lens, it usually is pretty darn good. And then you can also, there's also the zoom option. So you can do an auto adjust on the zoom, but then you can click and hold to make things larger. So if we want to see the $26,500 suit filed in Death of Man in Fire, we can zoom in on that and get a very up close view. Like I said, the lens on this is pretty darn amazing. The only problem is it's not, what you want to now do is like drag it around like you would with a Adobe document or something online. You can't do that. You do need to adjust it either forward or back, or if you need to go in and out, then it's actually a matter of physically moving the tray and trying to adjust to what it is that you're zoomed in on. Let's see, then, so let's go back to, let's see if we can auto zoom. Nope, it doesn't know what it's doing, so it's going to zoom all the way out. There's also some other settings. If the contrast isn't quite right, or brightness, you can adjust all of those things. And auto straighten, sometimes things are scanned a little unevenly. So if we need to scan it, or if you need to straighten it, there's a line straighten option. And you just draw the line to be what you would consider straight. And then it would adjust the output based on that. Then, as far as the actual functioning and what you're looking for, nothing really super exciting on this page, of course. let's say we're interested in this, in the death of Dale S. Pettyjohn of Emporia, Kansas. Let's say we actually wanted to capture that. This is where the interesting things are. So if this is something, maybe it's somebody you knew, or there was some historical research and you actually wanted, and that was a family member for genealogy or something. I'm going to go ahead and zoom in on this again a little bit more just to get it more clearly, to get a higher quality image. Then I'm going to go over here to output. And again, I said there's a green box. I'm going to take and move this green box so it is adjust this section of the paper that is highlighted. And then at this point, I can do a couple different things. Up here, there is the send to printer. There is scan to merge clips. There is scan to a drive. There is a scan to a second drive. So if somebody brings in a USB, you can set this up to go to search for USB, or if you want to scan it to the hard drive, or you can just use export. Basically, those are all the same things. Export will give you all the options. There is a regular density or regular definition, standard definition export, and there's a high definition export. Say if you wanted to get a picture of a photo captured off of here, you really wanted a high definition. If you click export, it's going to bring up the dialog box or the menu box, and you can choose where you want to save it to. We have a public drive where we have scan files. So I can just put this under temporary scans, and I'll just say scan. It'll save it as a PDF, or you can save it as an image if you wanted a JPEG of a photo, if you wanted a PNG, if you wanted a TIFF. You can choose that. So I'm going to save this one as a PDF, and just hit save, and it'll process it and save it to your selected drive. The other function that it has is this scan to merge clips. This one creates a merge clips annotated box, and I think I need to actually change the window that I am sharing in order for this to show up. Well, I'm going to do a couple of these to merge clips first. Make this box bigger. Okay, fine. You're not going to. Let's grab the ready to wed section.
It's really only.
It's only showing.
It's really only showing that box.
Okay, you're not going to be able to see the merge clips until I actually, it's a second window, so I actually have to choose it to save it, to share it. So I will get that in a second. I'll just grab this ready to wed. So I just moved the green box down to the people who are about to get married. I don't know if there's any fun names in here that we would know. Oh, I see a Retzloff. But otherwise, nothing too interesting there, but I'll save it anyway. So then again, I hit scan to merge clips, and that adds it to my merge clips. And now I'm going to go over and I'm going to stop screen sharing the one thing, and then I will reshare the merge clips. Should flip over to this tiny, 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 tiny little box that I can't seem to make any bigger right now. I don't know why you aren't giving me any arrows. Okay, so it's a tiny little box, but I'm going to hit this merge annotate on here, and it's going to bring me. Okay, now I'm going to have to change what I'm sharing again. Stop sharing. Going to go back to here. Does that do it? Give me a second. Nope, it's still under merge clips there.
Hello.
What happens there? It disappeared.
No, just go.
It just made everything go away. Annotated. Just dropped it behind. It's not letting me share the big screen. Maybe if I this?
Mm-hmm.
No. Okay.
It's showing the other dialog box.
Can you flip over to? I will stop sharing my screen and then we'll make you the presenter. Okay. So this tiny little merge clips box that I have here, for whatever reason, I can't make it bigger at the moment. What it does is it brings up
Screen glare.
Screen glare.
Okay.
It brings up a larger box down underneath. Oh, so let's see what that is. And you have the two things that we have clipped for annotating. If I select one, I can draw it onto the white sheet of paper. And I don't know why you're doing that twice. Oh, you. Why are you doing the... I can totally see that it says the death suit. It's stuck on ready to wed.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, technical issues. I don't know why it's not letting me select, but we'll just do whatever it's going to let me do. If you had more than one clip, you organize it on your paper. You can, and on your, this is just a sheet of paper. You can arrange, bring to front, set them back. You can basically do a little scrapbook piece here. Then there's a couple of tools here as far as adding a post-it note. You can add a note and then, these are the articles we clipped today. You can add a note to it. You can add some pen. So you can type some font. You can change the font of different things. There's just a whole bunch of other things. For me, the most interesting thing is the highlight text. So you could come through and then like highlight what it is that you're interested in having saved or finding from this. So you can use this to save and annotate and make notes on your clips. Then if you come up here, you'll be able to print that, and that will send it to the printer of your choice, and you can get an actual printout of that item. So that's the basic overview. I'm not going to save this because there's nothing there that interesting. There's some other things with cropping and straightening and some other functions and features adjusting. But basically, that's what we would be doing, is like using them to look for like I see right here, there's death notices, and I can go back to actually sharing my screen too. And so it popped up on my screen.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now I got it again.
There's death notices, and there's some other options with that. There's advanced. You can do like auto advance to see if it will just go to the next page, and it will stop somewhere around the next page. And again, you have the fast forward and the reverse. There's a couple other features that are available with the subscription software. Things which is really nice is the OCR Word Search. So if you wanted to be able to search your roll of microfilm for some specific words, however, that requires that's where they make their money. That requires the annual subscription, and it does cost quite a bit of money. So we haven't bit that bullet. But there's a few other features with the actual subscription. So that's what I've got. Anything I missed? The overview. I mean, that's a really fast. Again, there's other things that you can do when you dig into it.